Welcome to the next lesson, your initial product reviews. And here's what we'll be going over. Understanding Amazon's review policy, figuring out how many reviews you really need in order to launch, and then of course, how to get those reviews, including using Amazon to help do that for you. Now, customer reviews are a vital part of Amazon's business, so much so that they're continually monitoring and updating their review policy to make sure that it maintains the highest levels of integrity possible. It's vital for Amazon's customers to trust that their reviews are legitimate. So this means that they only want authentic product reviews written by customers who have no vested interest in the product, have no vested interest in the company selling the product, and have not been incentivized in any way to write a review, whether it be a positive or negative one. Now, instead of trying to explain this review policy to sellers like us, Amazon does something different. They tell us all the things that we cannot do in order to not violate the review policy. Because it's so important as sellers to not violate these rules, let's go through the list of examples of prohibited review activities. And because these are just examples, they're not all inclusive. So none of these are allowed. A seller posts review of their own product or their competitor's product, either in their own name or as an unbiased buyer. A seller offers a third party a financial reward, discount, or other compensation in exchange for review on their product or their competitor's product. This includes any service that sell customer reviews and websites or social media groups with implicit or explicit. That means that they either tell you or they imply that you are expected to leave a review. A seller offers to provide a refund or a reimbursement after the buyer writes a review, including reimbursing them even outside of Amazon's normal methods. A seller uses a third-party service that offers free or discounted products tied to a review. For example, a review club that requires customers to register their Amazon public profile so that sellers may monitor their reviews to verify that they've left them. But there's still more than that. A family member or employee of the seller posts review of the seller's product or a competitor's product. A seller offers a refund or other compensation to a reviewer in exchange for changing or removing the review. A seller only asks reviews from buyers who've had a positive experience and attempts to divert buyers who've had a negative experience to a different feedback mechanism. This is really important, that you just don't go out and cherry pick only those customers who have responded favorably, either via seller feedback or through an email. Then you only go out there and try to get them to write reviews. Amazon does not want that, because then you're really only limiting your reviews to those people who've had a positive experience. A seller creates a variation relationship between products that are not actually related to each other at all in order to boost a product star rating. So for example, if you're selling two completely different products, but you want to combine the reviews, you create a parent-child relationship to do that. That is not allowed. A seller inserts a request for a positive Amazon review or an incentive in exchange for review into their product packaging. And a seller manipulates the helpful, not helpful, or report abuse features on any review on his or his competitor's products. Now, everything that we just listed on this slide and the previous slide are expressly prohibited, and you do not want to violate any of those rules. Now, here's something important to keep in mind. While of course we'll always do our very best to make sure that you know of any changes to Amazon's review policies or any other changes to any policy on Amazon, you're now a business owner. And that means that it's up to you to stay up to date on any type of critical policy. And the best way to do that is to be active in our community and periodically review Amazon's policies inside of your Seller Central account. And for this particular one, if you simply do a search for customer product reviews policies, it'll take you right to the list that we just went through of all the prohibited activities. Now, before we do anything else, I want everyone watching this lesson to stop and do one thing right now. Simply take a breath and breathe. It may seem like it's going to be impossible to ever get a review because of all the things that Amazon doesn't let you do. But it's important to keep in mind that they're trying to make the review system as legitimate and authentic as possible, and anything that makes Amazon a better, more reliable source for people to buy products from makes it better for us. Because that means more people will go to Amazon, have faith in Amazon, and buy more products, and we'll be on there selling them those products. Now, let's take a step back again, and let's go over all the things that we can do. You can still ask customers to leave you a product review. Many people, when they saw the updated review policies, thought that they could simply no longer ever ask a customer for a review. That is simply not the case. You can still ask a customer to leave you a product review. And follow-up emails are the best way to do this automatically. And remember, since you're an ASM member, you can use seller mail that comes right inside of Managed by Stats to do this on autopilot, so that every time you send a product, an email sequence automatically gets triggered and sent to your customers, following up with them and asking them for a review. You can also reach out to customers who've had a bad experience with either the product or service, and you can try to resolve their issue. The only thing is, if they did leave you a bad review because something was wrong with your product, once you take care of that issue, you can't ask them to update the review or remove it. That's not allowed. But if you simply provide stellar customer service, then naturally many people, not all of course, but many of them will choose to do so on their own. Now, the way to do this is you simply reach out to them by replying to the review on the product detail page and ask them to contact you through the buyer-seller messaging system in order to resolve their issue. And the buyer-seller messaging system simply means that they're going to reach out to you through Amazon, so Amazon's aware of everything that you and the customer are saying back to each other, and Amazon won't have any concerns then about you violating their review policy. Now, here are some things to keep in mind based upon our own experience. If too many customers who receive your products at a steep discount start leaving you reviews, it's not uncommon for Amazon to remove those reviews, since it has the appearance of that discount being tied to a review. Even if you absolutely positively did nothing and did not ask any of those customers to leave you a review, if it appears like more people who are getting discounts are leaving reviews than those who don't, well, Amazon may go ahead and remove those reviews. Now, of course, you're probably wondering what is too many. Well, no one knows. Actually, only Amazon knows, and they'll never ever tell you what that amount is, and most likely it's simply a computer using a complicated and ever-changing algorithm looking across their marketplace and determining what amount of reviews is normal versus abnormal. Now, if too many people are leaving unverified reviews, and don't worry, I'll explain what verified and unverified reviews are shortly, but if too many are doing that, Amazon may temporarily make your product ineligible to get unverified reviews at all. And if the same people are leaving unverified reviews on too many different products all across Amazon, imagine these are customers who are part of a review club, Amazon may remove their ability to leave reviews at all. So Amazon is also policing the review system at the customer level as well. Here's something very important. Amazon does appear to be throttling the number of reviews new products can get. So if you start getting more reviews than is normally seen for your type of product and your volume of sales, your product may not be able to get any more reviews until a certain amount of time has passed. And again, no one knows exactly what that number is, so you just want to be very cautious at first. It's totally fine to go get a handful of reviews, but you don't want to go out there and try to get 10 or 20 reviews right away if you've only made 10 or 20 sales. That just looks abnormal. Here are some more things to keep in mind. Do not use any service that offers to get you reviews. These can put your account and your business at risk. Don't try and circumvent the system by refunding or reimbursing people, such as through PayPal or any other service, since Amazon has been known to figure that out somehow and still remove those reviews, and again, it could put your account at risk. Don't ask family members to give you a review, nor anyone closely related to you, living with you, or who is using your same home internet network. But as we said before, still feel free to ask a few people, think 3 to 5, to try your product out at first just to get a couple reviews, and preferably by having them purchase it at full price. But most of all, here's what you want to do. Have a great high quality product. Provide stellar customer service. Have a solid follow-up email sequence that provides value and eventually asks for a review, and utilize something called Amazon's Early Reviewer Program, and there'll be more on that later. If you do these things, you will get reviews. However, since only a small percentage of customers, and sometimes it can be as small as 1 to 2%, since that number will ever take the time to actually leave a review, the other way that's vital to getting more reviews is generating as many sales as possible. While you may be frustrated as to how slow reviews come in initially, as you do generate more sales, you will get more reviews. And then as you get more reviews, those in turn lead to more traffic and more sales. And at a point, it all starts taking off, and that's how your product sales and your business really takes off. So, how many reviews do you need before you can launch your product? Well, even though you may be going up against products that have hundreds or sometimes thousands of reviews, however, if you followed our training, that risk is really minimized. But even if you are, you do not need to go out and immediately try and out-review any of them. Products that only have a handful of positive reviews can still sell very well using the training that you've already received on optimizing your listing and the training you're about to receive on launching your product. Let's take a look at a few. If you look at this product here, it's a kid's toy called Magnetiles. You'll see they only have 3 customer reviews, and they're not even that very good reviews. But we estimate this product is actually selling $15,000 a month in sales. And this bike helmet right here, this again only has 3 reviews, probably about a 3.5-star rating. It's selling $20,000 a month. And then take a look at this. This is an Iris 3-case activity storage chest. It has 0 reviews. No one has reviewed this product at all. However, we estimate that it's selling $28,000 a month in sales. So do these examples mean that reviews don't matter and you still shouldn't try and go out and get as many as possible? Well, of course not. The more reviews you have, the higher your conversion rate will be. But you don't need to have a ton of reviews in order to launch your product and start making sales. So exactly how many should you try and get? Well, as a rule of thumb, we believe that between 3 and 5 reviews are enough to get started with the launch process. However, if you find that you simply cannot get any reviews, let's say that you don't live in the country you're selling in, and nor do you have any friends there, we have seen members launch with 0 reviews, turn on Amazon sponsored ads, and simply follow up with the purchasers via email to start getting reviews. Now, before we can talk about how to get those first reviews, we first have to understand who can actually leave a review on Amazon. And per Amazon's rules, anyone who spent at least $50 on Amazon in the past 12 months can post a product review. And while they don't have to have bought a product on Amazon to leave a review for that product, when you do leave a review for a product that you purchased, it's called a verified review, and it holds more weight than when you leave a review for a product you have not purchased, which is called an unverified review. Let's take a look at what the difference is right now. You see on this screen here, the above review has the words verified purchase next to it, and right below it there's nothing, so that means that that 5-star review we see was not actually purchased on Amazon, or it may have been purchased at a very steep discount, and therefore Amazon is not calling it a verified review. And as we mentioned before, purchases that are made at a very large discount, and again, Amazon doesn't say how much is too large, they may have their verified purchase indicator removed, or the review itself may be removed entirely. So who do you go after to get those first reviews? Well, the first group are your friends, but not family members. That used to be an option, but it no longer is. Your friends and acquaintances are still the #1 way to get your initial product reviews. However, they have to be authentic. They should buy the product, use the product, and then create an authentic review telling people exactly what they liked about it. And you don't want to use any discount codes. Instead, you should be launching a product at a lower price that you eventually want to sell it at, making it a really good deal and a more palatable purchase for your friends. They must not have the same last name nor live in the same household, but you have to be aware. Amazon can still sometimes remove these reviews if they feel the reviewer is too closely tied to you. So it's probably not a good idea to ask your very best friend who's all over social media with you in pictures to be the first person to give you a product review. So now it's time to take action. I want you to come up with a list of 3 to 5 friends that you can ask for an initial product review. Another way to get reviews is from your social media followers. If you're active on your social media accounts, you'll most likely start to attract a few followers. And prior to launching your product, you can start teasing your new product and then reach out to those who show interest. Over here is a quick little post that I made when I was launching a new spatula to see if anyone was interested in getting it at a really cheap price. And then for those who responded, I sent them a message to see if they wanted to get the product at your launch only price. And then once they received it, I followed up again to see if they're willing to leave a product review. So now it's time to take action again. Start planning out and making your teaser posts to help gather potential reviewers for your brand new product. Now, the final method for getting your initial product reviews that we're going to talk about is a program that hasn't been around that long, and when it was introduced, it wasn't available to everyone. And it's the Amazon Early Reviewer Program. And here's how it works. You sign up your product with the program, and the cost is $60 per product. Then, as your product sells, Amazon themselves will reach out to customers and offer them a small incentive to take the time and write an honest product review. Then, once your product has reached a total of 5 reviews, they stop asking people to leave reviews. Now, keep in mind, it's a total of 5 reviews. So even if Amazon only got you 3 additional reviews and you got 2 all on your own, once your product has 5 total reviews, they will stop asking people and the program is over. Now, another important thing to keep in mind, you actually have to make sales in order for Amazon to ask customers to review your product. Amazon is not going to send your product out to anyone. It's only as you make sales, they will randomly pick people and ask them to give you an honest product review. Now, this is currently only available in the US, and if you want to read more about it, check out the Early Reviewer Program inside of Seller Central under the advertising menu. So that's it, and now it's time for you to take action. I want you to plan out how you're going to get your first 3 to 5 reviews by coming up with a list of friends that you can ask to buy your product and give you an honest review. Plan out and make your teaser post to try and help gather potential reviewers from social media, and sign up for the Early Reviewer Program. And coming up, we're going to talk all about launching your product. So head on over to the next video and I'll see you there.